at you. Don't just stand there teasing me. Now it's time to show and prove.
Welcome back to Rubbing Minds. Now, the creative sector in Nigeria has made a lot of us proud in Nigeria and in the diaspora. I'm talking about film, I'm talking about music, and also fashion. Gone are the days when Nigerian fashion has been relegated to the backstage. Now, our celebrities and I dare say global superstars love to identify with our indigenous fabrics, with our designs from Nigeria. And to join me in conversation about just the huge potential the fashion industry has here in Nigeria, I have with me the founder and CEO of the eponymous label, Banke Kuku. Banke Kuku, welcome to Rubbing Minds.
Thank you for having me. So good to be here.
I love the outfit. I can definitely recognize you're wearing yourself, Banke Kuku.
Yes.
There's something about your, I'd say your fabric, your love for textile design. These days, if I see it, I'll be able to spot it. I'll just say, oh, this is Banke Kuku, right? What inspired that love for fashion and in particular textile design?
So I have always been like a creative since I was younger. So, you know, at primary school, I was always in the art department, and I always used to like love making things with my mom. So I just kind of progressed, and I went to art school, and sort of stumbled across textiles. I went to St. Martin's in London, and we had to do like different specialisms. So I did textiles, sculpture, and something else. I didn't really think too much about it. And then once I started to go into textiles, I was in love with it, and I just didn't turn back.
Interesting. So that art was what informed on the fashion.
Yes, exactly.
Now, for the longest time in the fashion industry, there's always been issues with designers trying to get quality fabrics. There's a lot of counterfeit. Some of the big brands, you're not sure which is real, which is fake, which is China. So what led you into going to something that's not very popular with our designers, creating your own fabrics?
Because, I mean, I think my first love is textiles design. So, I mean, before I went into fashion, I was designing fabrics for other brands as their textiles designer, and I also had my own soft furnishing line. So how I went into fashion was my customers loved my prints that I would do for my cushions and my curtains, and so I kind of felt that, okay, well, actually one customer had asked, you know, can I make her a kaftan, and she loved it and everyone liked it, and people started asking me for more pieces. So I decided to make pieces that would complement my homeware line, so which was loungewear. And then we had lockdown, so I had the pajamas, the kaftans, the robes, and then it sort of started to do really well because everyone was at home, so people wanted like stylish things they could wear at home. And you know, that's kind of my journey within fashion. And then, you know, as the world started to open up, people wanted to go out. So I kind of made my loungewear occasional pieces. So you have like pajamas with feathers or embellished pajamas or like more fitted items. And so that's where we are today.
So you've always been in touch with the people, and that has really formed a huge part of your creative process.
Exactly.
Now, when it comes to costing, there's some kind of debate, like when people go into the market or in a store or online and they see some of these prices by Nigerian designers, there's almost that expectation that it should be more affordable compared to foreign designers. Like, why do I have to pay so much for this? It's not even made in Nigeria. It's not even by a Nigerian designer. How do you respond to that? Because I have a good idea of your pricing.
Yeah, well, first of all, the cost of production is pretty high. With diesel at the price it is, it's pretty high. And also the cost of the materials, because everything is pretty much, in Nigeria, everything is imported. So you have to pay for the cost of shipping and clearing and all those kind of things. And I think people, I mean, I like to pay my staff well, so I don't think it's fair to sell things at high prices and not be fair with your salaries. And it's not cheap. Good work takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of patience, it takes a lot of research, and that all comes out in the price.
Okay. Now, have you ever considered like what some designers do, maybe a diffusion line where maybe you're using some of the local fabrics, for example, like the adire, your tie-dye, batik. Is that something that your customers have said, oh, I'd like this?
Well, I mean, eventually, maybe one day a diffusion line may come out, but I really want to establish who we are right now and really get people accustomed to what I do and own my identity. So that's the primary focus right now. In terms of using local fabrics, definitely, as long as, we maintain our ethos, as in we design our prints ourselves and we tell our own story. In that way, we're always a Nigerian story. And it's definitely something I can consider doing.
Okay. Now, for the market, a lot of things are problems that drive up this cost of production. You mentioned diesel. Do you feel that government is doing enough to create that enabling environment to support fashion designers, textile designers, people within that space, whether through grants or single-digit loans? Do you get any support, or do you feel?
I mean, at the moment, designers are really working hard and we kind of support ourselves a lot of the time. And, we all have to pat ourselves on the back because it's a really hard environment. But, I have been part of conversations where the government is looking to support designers more. And, it's looking really promising. And I think amazing things can happen very soon.
Now let's go to the people who wear. I find it as an aspirational brand. Tell me about the Banke Kuku man or Banke Kuku woman. Who is this person, and how do you feel when they put on your fabrics that are not necessarily Nigerian? What does that mean to you?
Well, for me, a Banke Kuku man or woman is because we're such an inclusive brand. So we don't, in terms of how they look, we cater for all shapes and sizes, tall, we cater to all religions. So we try and include everyone within our collections. The Banke Kuku woman definitely is a person who loves quality, is in love with African design. It may not necessarily be seen as Ankara or Adire, and Ankara is actually not a Nigerian fabric, but Adire is, but it tells a Nigerian story. And so I think, they love to express themselves in that way. And I think, our designs really give our customers joy. So it's someone who is definitely looking to have a bit of positivity, maybe during the day or during the time of their life when they're wearing my pieces. My Banke Kuku customer is someone who appreciates culture and they also appreciate sort of the values of our brand. So, we're very inclusive and we like to enlighten our customers as well about what the prints are about, which it's almost like we document history or we tell stories. So as a customer looks at our pieces, they want to know more, what is this print about? And then we tell them the journey, the story behind it. So yeah, that's my company.
Now, I know the Banke Kuku brand has been well received in Nigeria, but you have roots in the UK, like you specified earlier in the conversation. So what has been the reception from foreigners, from people that are not used to Nigerian designers, or what kind of feedback do you get?
Because I take a lot of my inspiration from what's around me. So my time in the UK has inspired my work as well. So I would say, yes, it is Nigerian design, but it's also fused with Western culture. We've had really good response. So we've had pop-ups in the Middle East, in London, in different parts of Europe as well. So I think people just love the colors, they love the story, they love the positivity. So it has been very well received, and we look to do a lot more.
I don't know how the quote goes about imitation being the best form of flattery. I think that's it. On social media, there's what I ordered versus what I got.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of times, people who can't afford these brands will see it and they will give their tailor and say, "We'll go and copy it." How do you respond to that? Do you see it as, "Oh, I'm flattered that they're trying to copy, maybe not the design, maybe not the textile design, but maybe the fit or the way you use your feathers or the way you cut your fabric"?
Well, I'd say it's the industry, it's fashion. It's not just in Nigeria, it's all over the world. And as a designer, I don't get myself too immersed in that side of things because you can just get too consumed in it. So I just focus on constantly elevating, changing my designs and kind of pushing on with what I'm doing. But, there will be people who may not be able to afford my pieces. So there will be other brands who come up with something cheaper, but that's just the market. Sometimes people that very expensive brands, and you may not be able to afford that. So there is space in the market for a brand who is offering a cheaper product. That doesn't mean that they're trying to do anything malicious. It's just the market, and it's just something you have to come to accept if you are in the business of fashion.
Okay, I think that's a very positive outlook on that. But are you open to collaborations? Is that something we should expect? We've seen in the past maybe designers collaborating with artists, with painters, and given your background in art, is that something we can expect in future collections?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we have done quite a few collaborations already, and we look to do more. I mean, in terms of collaborating with other designers, they're definitely designers that I really respect, and I love their work, especially designers that work with very traditional techniques. I think it could be such a nice contrast to our modern way of working, and we could create something really inspiring and interesting that way.
Now, someone watching it would be like, wow, this is sounds so beautiful, like she's doing so well. But a lot of times people don't see the sweat, the blood, the tears. Can you tell us about some of the challenges you've had over the years and how you've been able to push through them and become this successful brand that you are?
I think one of my biggest challenges was definitely kind of identifying who I am as a designer and what I do. And I think I've been through such a journey from when I started as like just a textiles designer, designing for other brands, then to having my own interior brand, and now to pushing my fashion business. So I think that journey in sort of self-discovery has been challenging, because you question yourself, you question your skills, you question your talent sometimes, and that's like stumbling blocks. And you're forever changing. Obviously the market we are in right now is forever changing, from going from COVID to being out of COVID to going through a recession. So the market is constantly changing, and you're constantly having to change your business. And you get to a point where you're like, oh, finally I'm comfortable. And then something changes, and then you have to there's so many different things in today's world. So I think you just have to be, I've just learned to just be very open-minded and just, be ready for, whatever comes my way. I think those are the biggest challenges I've had so far.
Okay. Now, I know with your collections, you have like these bags that in matching fabric, and you've spoken about having the interior decor collection. Yes. Can we expect to see maybe more accessories? Is that something you're exploring?
Definitely. We're definitely looking to expand our lines, our offerings, definitely. Go into other products, enter new markets, and depends what the market, wants as well. So we sort of curate collections for specific markets. So yeah, definitely. We're definitely looking to offer more pieces.
Okay. Anything in particular we can expect this year?
Definitely more prints, more collections, more pieces, and we're really trying to push the brand to tell like a Nigerian story globally. So we'll definitely be in different parts of the world.
Thank you very much for being our guest on Robbie Minds.
Thank you.